And we're back with another UFC predictions video. After a successful night with Usman versus Buckley, we're back at it again with UFC Fight Night Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree. Now let's get straight into the picks and predictions. Starting off with the big boys, we go to the heavyweight division where we have Mohammed Usman set to face off against Hamdy Abdelwahab. Mohammed Usman is not the greatest heavyweight fighter in the division, and Hamdy, I think he lost his last fight, but all that being said, Mohammed Usman is a guy that's hard to control. Hamdy is a guy that likes to get in these scrappy wars, make fights a lot closer than it needs to be, where he should be using his wrestling and dominating guys, but it's definitely not something you should put your money on. The lean is towards Hamdy to get the job done because Mohammed Usman gets tired. I think the wrestling wears on him. He doesn't have the best striking in the world, and yes, he may have the knockout power to put anyone in the division out, but I see him struggling to catching Hamdy clean enough to put him out. I think Hamdy works him for 3 rounds, wins a unanimous decision. So Hamdy to get the job done, no bet on the fight. Moving on to the flyweights where we have Tagir Ulanbekov set to face off against Azat, Maksum, and I think Tagir dominates this fight. No bet on it because it's kind of tough to predict whether he can win by submission or decision, but I think Tagir gets the job done fairly easily. Next up, we're going to the bantamweights where we have Irina Alekseeva set to face off against Klaudia Syguła. Klaudia, in my opinion, is not UFC level, and I'm very high on Irina Alekseeva to get the job done. The odds, there's not really good value on this one, so I think Irina wins, but no bet on the fight. Next up, we're going back to the bantamweights where we have Daria Zhelezniakova set to face off against Mullins. This is the second time these girls are matched up against one another. First time off, Daria was getting the better of her in the striking, but as she got taken down, Melissa made easy work of her and finished her. It could have been an early stoppage, but once the fight gets taken to the ground, Melissa is gonna maul Daria. I think Melissa does it yet again. I think a safe play, in my opinion, is under 2.5 rounds. Melissa should be able to get her to the ground in either round 1 or round 2. There's no guard game for Daria, so works her way to mount, club and sub, or even ground and pound finish. So, pick Melissa Mullins, bet under 2.5. On to the middleweights where we have Ismail Naurdiev set to face off against JunYong Park. I got a bet on JunYong Park to get the job done here. I think he gets takedowns regularly, and I think he works Ismail for the entirety of the fight. Could finish early, but I think it goes to decision. Pick and play is JunYong Park to win. On to the welterweights where we have Seokhyeon, may have butchered the name, versus Oban Elliott. I'm going to be completely honest here. The odds are heavily in favor of Oban Elliott, but it's not worth it. It's a high-risk bet here. If you was to put your money on Oban, I think Oban gets the job done by decision. But like I said before, don't put your money on this because it's just not worth it. On to the featherweights, we have Mohammed Naimov set to face off against Bogdan Grad. I think Mohammed Naimov is too much for Bogdan Grad, works him, and gets the decision victory. No bet on it because the odds are not there. Bogdan can't pull off an upset, but I do favor the side of Mohammed Naimov. Not too confident in this one, so stay away from it in terms of betting. On to the lightweights where we have Nazim Sadykhov set to face off against Nikolas Motta. I think Nazim dominates him for as long as the fight lasts. The bet is going to be Nazim to land more significant strikes and win by KO or submission. Nikolas Motta, every time he loses, it's inside the distance, and Nazim, he's only went to decision once in his career. On to the welterweights, we have Myktybek Oban set to face off against Tofiq Musayev, and this is at the 165-pound weight class. It's like a catch weight. Oban, he should be able to work Tofiq for as long as the fight lasts. push him to the fence, get takedowns, and he can even submit him, or he can work him for 3 rounds. I'm very confident in Orobai getting the job done here. Bet and pick is going to be Orobai to win. Back to the heavyweight division we go, where we have Curtis Blades set to face off against Rizvan Kunayev. I like the underdog here. I think there's value in the play. Rizvan, he's going to try to use his wrestling. Curtis may be able to use his counter wrestling or even get takedowns of his own, but I don't see him being able to hold down Rizvan. And if it was a striking battle, I see Rizvan having more power to put Curtis Blades out. No bet on it because it's a UFC debut, but I like the side of Rizvan here. On to the lightweights, where we have Rafael Fiziev set to face off against Ignacio Bahamundes. This one, I like the side of Ignacio to get the job done here. I see him having a bit of problems with Fiziev in the first round because Fiziev comes out fast. He's one of the fastest fighters you're going to see, or maybe even the fastest fighter that you'll ever see at the lightweight division. But after the first, slows down significantly, and that's where I see Ignacio putting a pace on him. Ignacio has power as well. He does have a good submission game I've seen against Jalen Turner, but I see this fight staying stand-up and Ignacio doing enough to get it on the judges' scorecards, or he can even get a finish late. The side, I'm going with Ignacio Bahamundes. Now on to the main event. At the light heavyweight division, we have Jamal Hill set to face off against Khalil Rountree. I like the side of Khalil on this one. It's going to be a striking battle. Khalil is going to land those leg kicks that will debilitate Jamal Hill as the fight progresses. Jamal is going to have a lot of power, but as Khalil showed in his fight against Alex Pereira, he is very, very durable. I don't think Jamal puts him out, and if he doesn't check leg kicks, which I don't think he's going to be able to do against a guy like Khalil, those legs are going to be too beaten up. He's going to be too much of a stationary target, and Khalil is going to pick him apart in the striking. So the pick and the play for this one is going to be Khalil Rountree to get the job done. And that's been my picks and predictions for UFC Fight Night Hill versus Rountree. Be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think of it down below. Subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, support the channel on Patreon. And for those who want to see me without this mask, sounds like I got a career in OnlyFans. I'll catch you in the next one, but until then, game time.